Washington, D.C., we bring you to the Verizon Center, the home of the Wizards. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. And guys, taking a look here at Emeka Okafor, what do you think we'll see from him?
He's their leader defensively. He's able to do so many things well on that end of the court. And takes the pressure off everybody around him. Indispensable asset for them.
And you know what? He is also relentless on the boards. He works as hard on his rebounding as anybody you're going to see.
For the Denver Nuggets, they come in off that loss to the Hawks. And that's one they'd like to have back. A little more focus would have been enough. Just a 4-point loss.
And guys, they were really plagued by foul trouble in that one. Forced them into some makeshift lineups late in the game.
And Steve, the frustrating part for me in that situation is you can defend without fouling. Just move your feet and don't use your hand.
Now, here is Gallinari. Dishes it to Fournier. Lawson outside. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. And Gallinari kicks to McGee. Okafor with the steal. Lawson against Wall. Passes it to Nene. Now the feed to Beal. 6 to shoot. Porter passes to Wall. Kept alive. Nene kicks to Wall. Over Lawson. Wall, that's good. Wall's got the game going with his first points of the game for the Wizards. And it's the Nuggets ball. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Wizards team.
Well, whether it was a fluke or just plain overconfidence, somehow they got swept by this team in the season series a year ago.
Here's Fournier. Back to Lawson. Misses the three. On defense, the Nuggets. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Well, Brian Shaw gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. We talked about the problems of facing a player who is athletically gifted like John Wall. He told me that staying in front of him with a solo defender is near impossible. So we'll try to lull him into traps and get him taking shots that he doesn't feel comfortable taking.
Thank you, Doris. It hurts. I mean, you're trying to prove to the league you're the real thing, that you're big time. It's not too impressive losing to a basement team twice.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they are from the other conference, you're not used to seeing those guys, but that's no excuse. If you want to be feared in this league, you got to beat the bottom feeder.
For the Washington Wizards, they won their last contest, that game against the Heat.
Boy, that was a surprising result, wasn't it, guys? Because on paper, it didn't even look like a fair matchup.
Well, you know what? That's part of why we enjoy sports and you play the game, because it definitely didn't turn out the way many of the experts, including ourselves, might have predicted. So that's why you tee it up, buddy.
It's been a slow start here for Denver, trailing by 4.
And while it wasn't the biggest win streak of the season, the Nuggets did have a pretty good rampage of their own from the end of February into March. And because it happened when the Heat were doing what they were doing, the Nuggets kind of flew under the radar.
And now here comes Wall, leading the break. Pass to Okafor. And that one, no good to start him off on the night. The Nuggets trail by 4. Lawson with it. 32 points for him last game against the Hawks in Atlanta.
It wasn't just offense either, Kevin. He was so disruptive defensively. I don't remember how many steals he had, but, man, he was dominant out there.
Now, here is Lawson. And Gallinari kicks to Lawson. Here's Fareed. And finally, that one's good. Fareed's got his first bucket in this one.
Perseverance paying off on the offensive boards, guys.
Wall dishes to Nene. It's stolen by Lawson. Here's Fournier, defended by Beal. And Wall, here we go now. Comes up empty down low. Well, as you said, the Nuggets put together their big 15-game winning streak. But, you know, Steve, since it happened, when the Heat rattled off their big push, nobody really even seemed to notice.
That's right. It might have worked out in their favor anyway, Kevin, because that win streak really kind of put them into high gear and allowed them to climb into the third spot in the West. Probably was nice not having the media focused on them and wanting to talk to them every day about what was happening in the Western Conference.
Here's Fournier after the basket by Washington. That's good. So timeout called here. The first for Washington.
Well, I tell you what, guys, the Wizards were a volatile team last year. At times they looked really good. Other times they looked terrible. And that happened throughout the season. One place where they consistently looked better than their record was when they played against the Western Conference.
Denver with a platoon swap here on the floor. Now here's Ariza, averaging 8 points a game. A baseline J, and J.J. Hickson pulls it down. Nuggets have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. And going back to the Wizards playing against the West for a moment, they were relatively one of the strongest teams, Steve, in the East when playing Western Conference opponents.
Pretty interesting stat, isn't it? 14-16 against the West, which may not sound like much, but hey, that qualified for 5th best record in the East. So this is a team that really started to play well down the stretch and played well against good teams, too.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Wizards will retain possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east. Already we are in December. Taking a look at New York. They like where they stand right now, perched in that topmost position. And, of course, the Wizards, not in the same realm right now in terms of their record.
Checking out Washington, they've proven they have a long way to go if they're going to be a competitive team in this league.
And even if they weren't expected to play at a high level this year, I think most people felt they were capable of being better than what they're showing right now.
Here's Hickson, and he lobs it up toward the rim, throws down the alley-oop slam.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make in a close game, a potential momentum builder.
Here's Ariza. After the made shot from Hickson, Webster. He's guarded by Chandler. Webster can't get the bucket. Denver's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Yeah, that's textbook basketball. Just having their way down low.
Serafin with the ball. He had 16 points in the win against Miami. Kicks it to Maynard. He dishes it to Webster. The basket good off the assist from Maynard. Webster's got 6. Here's Lawson. Shot is off. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. It's the Wizards up 1. And
coming up next.